with a Filipino cashier. Cannot wait to be paid $3.75 an hour. So good. But they also use, all right.
I think that's a bad Filipino accent.
This is a good one. What do you mean? You don't like my Filipino accent?
I couldn't decide, but it felt racist.
Of course it's racist. Of course it's racist.
Your Filipino accent is very close to the Puerto Rican female accent you did for Mike McCrae's episode.
I wasn't really trying then.
Hello, everybody. This is the Turtle Reads podcast. At least get an intro in a little bit. At some point, we're here with our guest Dean. Great to have you on. Finally, we've been planning this for a little minute. We did a Stephen King book with you called 11/22/63.
Brother, I'm in the throes of it.
How do you feel? Is this your first time? Was that your first time reading it?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was, right? So can you please summarize for us in 2 sentences, also for whoever's listening, what this book is about?
In two words?
2 sentences.
Oh.
You can do 2 words.
Here, so that the people,
You want this?
at home can see.
What do you want?
While they're driving, pick that book up for me,
What
please.
you want? Oh, okay. Damn, this book is huge. I read the Kindle version.
The
I didn't
weight
even know it
of
was that
this
big.
book.
Yeah, it's a thick book.
So
It's hefty. This is like
and not only in like physical weight, but also, I mean,
in terms of women's breast size. How heavy is this book?
breasts are tricky. That's a tricky weight of measurement because it's also like the boob, but it's also what the boob's attached to. So
yeah,
good point.
Like, how do you gauge that off of her body?
If we're talking
you're
about
you're pulling the boob away from the chest cavity, and you're holding
But
there's still so much
sexy thing. Yeah,
I
like
would say
a mammogram.
This is 1D titty, 1D. Like
that's
a
1D?
a single D.
Yeah, Clay holds his mom boobs, so checking his mom for lumps.
I haven't done much, just like standing there holding boobs to guess weight. I'm usually it's like we're doing something with them,
You never thought
So I've
to
never
do that?
stopped to. No, actually, yeah, I have. In middle school, or or like maybe freshman year of high school, the first like pair of boobs I touched, she just showed them to me, and she was like, "But you don't know what to do with them."
Yeah, you don't. Yeah.
And so you're like making out. She's like, "Well, just touch them," and I'm like, "All right." And so I'm like holding them like this. And
like,
then
like holding them up.
Yeah, because you don't know what's the proper, do you 2-hand each one? Or do you, it feels wrong to do this.
This is like the brassiere hold.
This is
creepy. This feels so creepy.
That
This is hand signals for I'm a creep.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Morse code. I am a creep.
So like I remember going like this and then being just like so confused that I forget to make out with her. And then so now she's just standing there and I'm like, and then I just remember her going, "All right, well, we're done." I was like, "No, I'm sorry.
You have a lump. You might want to get that checked out."
Yeah, she's like, "It felt too like surgical." Yeah, you were just like,
yeah. The genital reveals in school, in elementary school, are crazy. One time, me and my friend, this girl, we paid a kid a candy bar. I think it was a Twix, to see this guy's dick.
Wow.
So, and then he took us behind the bookshelf. And
how old was the other kid?
Same age.
Okay,
we
good.
were all in like the first grade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was 31, but so we took him around.
Janitor's like, "Hell yeah, dude."
It's 31-year-old guy. Yeah,
kids give me candy to see my wiener. That's the other way around.
I love kids. So he takes So this kid, we go back with him and we're like, okay, here you go. Right? So we already know about currency exchange rates, right?
Yeah.
1 Twix is 1 second grader's penis show. So he pulls down his pants.
It looks the worst.
It just looked like nothing, right? Like a little brown cauliflower thingy,
Yeah.
right? So and then
at that age,
he did a little dance.
At that age, it's South Park penis. It's just like a little nub, tiny nub.
He did
Well,
a little.
I mean, sometimes you got a little bit of dangle, but
Well,
it all
not
changes.
this kid.
5th, 6th grade.
Yeah.
7th grade, 8th grade. Anyway, that's what sums up this book.
Yeah, let's not talk about
more than
second
2
graders' balls.
Too long. There's a time limit. We reached it.
Justin's like, already. I already have to blur all over.
This book is the most interesting. You came just in time.
Hell yeah. All right. So keep talking. Yeah. So it's the most interesting. What's
It's
up,
the most
Jamisha?
interesting it's the most interesting time travel premise or like use that I've ever heard, right?
Yeah.
because there's a ton of like time traveler stuff. Mm-hmm. Is that a bagel?
Yeah. You want some? Here.
No.
All right, continue. We're gonna eat while you summarize them.
I did not plan for this.
It's got love. It's got romance. It has murder multiple times.
Yeah.
And like a conflicting, like, what would you do if you went back in time?
Yeah.
So you can actually like put yourself in it, because it's like, yeah, if Kennedy didn't get assassinated, potentially we stay out of Vietnam and our lives are completely different.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
And
in a good way, in a bad way, we don't know. But it's like a lot of people did die during.
Justin's cutting my mic off.
I'm not listening to it.
Because I'm literally listening to it like the time.
I don't have an issue.
And I'm
with
not
it,
saying this. This is we can cut this out for sure if we have to. But is that how all Puerto Rican women eat?
Yeah.
It's loud. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying I've never been around Puerto Rican
Thanks for
women.
not ordering cereal.
Yeah. So,
We do everything loud. That's what I'm trying to be quiet. That's why I sound like that.
and also, usually talking about JFK, in my opinion, always puts women in general to sleep.
Really?
Yeah, women are never. I'm very interested in your take or other people's takes, but I love JFK so much.
Yeah.
To the point where.
Wait, you love JFK? Why?
Just like as a president, he's my favorite president.
No, yeah. Why?
As a guy, God, just the life that he went through, the things that he did, the things that he tried to do, and got killed for it.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Do you think do you believe any of the conspiracies? Do you think any of them might have some legs?
About what?
About any of the conspiracy
surrounding his
related to his assassination or whatever?
I mean, I think for sure it was the CIA. I think it was organized by probably 7 or 8 different organizations that all just were like, if Kennedy dies, our lives get a lot easier.
Yeah.
So I think it had something to do with like the New Orleans Mafia, the CIA, Lyndon B. Johnson. I've almost had his presidency. Would be so hard to actually get to be president. But if he moves from that vice president just straight to president, he could keep in term, you know?
Yeah.
Then the people can rally behind him. Which is what happened.
The vice president thing, maybe, because vice presidents are kind of always, they're always kind of like that. They're always kind of people who want to position themselves not like right front and center of power, but they want to kind of maneuver because they usually don't have the personality to become the actual front-facing leaders, right?
That's literally what Kamala Harris
That's
did.
what I'm saying, right? Kamala Harris is a very unlikable person. So
went for the presidency, couldn't get it, then got vice president, and is now like, and she's almost there. Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I haven't heard a thing about Kamala Harris, and I don't
because
want to
every
get too
time she
far
opens her
into
mouth,
politics.
she just ruins it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care about it's just her, you know.
I look like how I feel. So
yeah. Well, I don't look like how I feel, so we probably agree. So
I know,
yeah.
but I think we'll just be. Nobody's going to be surprised at any opinion I have. But that's why I usually don't like to talk about politics.
Nobody's going to be surprised when she ends up being president either.
He has a speech that I think is like, I use it. I don't know if you have this, but like if you do too much mushrooms, do you do mushrooms or smoke too much weed, whatever? There's always.
Oh, did you forget?
Oh,
did you remember?
No.
It's the problem with weed and mushrooms. But yeah, you if you sometimes like I like taking mushrooms. Sometimes you take too much mushrooms and you go, uh-oh. Or somebody like, especially at comedy clubs, people just give you things that they're like, oh yeah, this has mushrooms. It's a little bit, and you take it, and you're like, okay, the ground's vibrating. This isn't good. But there's a speech that I have that like calms me down or like puts me back to a good center, and it's JFK speaking at Rice University, and it's in Houston, and it's like one of the things that I heard for the first time that I was like, this guy fucking gets it. This is the man. Like the way that he presents the speech is like little jokes that he works in, just a great performer and a good leader. So I'm like, yeah, I haven't heard anything else that any other president has done. Like Trump talks shit and that's cool or whatever.
It's entertaining.
But it's not powerful.
Yeah.
He's got this, if you got the time, you should go listen to it, but it's 18 minutes and
nice.
It's like
I'll check that out.
Yeah. But anyway, that's what got me excited about reading this book, because it's like, what would have happened if JFK hadn't died?
Well, but do you think that what Stephen King what he created as the scenario would have been the scenario, because he made it very kind of more magical, right? Like a magical of like cosmic balance kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like if all the people who hadn't died in Vietnam, were now alive because of JFK's assassination being
And you don't
prevented.
even see any of that.
You don't see any of it. You don't really know what happens.
Yeah.
So I'm saying he kind of made it where there's a balance, so that if they didn't die in that, they would die somehow, or the same amount of people would die somehow.
Yeah, the nuclear warfare becomes a common thing, all that kind of shit. So it's
Which
like
is a very 90s idea of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think about that?
So I'll be honest with you. I'm on page, check it. I'm on page 628 out of an 800 book.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to.
No,
I didn't
no.
mean to spoil that for you.
It's fine.
Okay.
I'm getting close. I tried to finish it this weekend, and I was, man, it's such a good book.
It's very good. He's a good writer.
So right now he is to the point where Sadie,
his
wife just got slashed, or his fiance, girlfriend,
whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, slashed in the face and
by Frank Dunning.
yeah.
And she's in the hospital, and they're like you're not. Her face is never going to be the same.
Yeah.
She everything's all messed up. And then Lee Harvey Oswald just went to New Orleans after attempting on the general's life.
Yeah.
Okay. The
And
questions
so-
I had for you were kind of more about the end parts, but
crap.
I don't want to ask. I don't want to ask. All right, never mind.
Well,
Yeah.
I like a lot of different time shit. That Red Dwarf episode I was telling you about. They have have you ever seen the TV show Red Dwarf?
You've told me about it. I've seen
They have
parts of it.
an episode where literally the whole point of the episode is they go back in time to stop the JFK assassination by accident. Like they end up just there during the JFK assassination. They accidentally knock Lee Harvey Oswald out the window, and he's not able to assassinate him. And so they go back in time, and like Russia has taken over like a big portion. Some South American countries are at war with each other, and like a bunch of crazy shit has happened. So they have to go back in time and actually try to assassinate JFK. And they figure the only way they could do it. And JFK, he got put in prison since he didn't get assassinated. He got put in prison because of some infidelity shit. So he ends up going to prison. So they go and
They
get.
say that he's going to go to prison for cheating.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
President of the United States of America.
That's not gonna happen.
This is back in the
No.
day, though.
I mean, we're not French, but we're
whenever
also
he
not
was-
pussies about this.
He was also like one of the Christian candidate, all that shit.
He's a
you know?
Catholic.
Catholic, yeah,
Boston
exactly.
Catholic. Here.
Exactly. So,
I can't hear this one.
You can't be put in jail for that. Even
I don't
if you're
think-
not a president.
and so, but they end up going and getting him his prison version. Like they get him from the timeline whenever he goes to prison.
Okay.
Bring him back, and he assassinates himself on the grassy knoll.
It doesn't have. He assassinates himself. Okay, that's pretty good. But I don't
Some
know.
wild takes.
I don't buy the thing about the cosmic balance, right? Like I don't think that JFK not being assassinated is going to have to be. There's going to have to be some kind of reckoning about
Yeah.
that. I actually don't. I don't think that that's the case. I don't think that there's a magical scale in that way.
You don't believe in the
Not that
butterfly
obvious.
effect.
No, I believe in the butterfly effect, right? But the butterfly effect is random chance and chaos, right? There's
Yeah.
no, what I'm saying is there's no morality in the universe, right? There's no
sure.
like, this must be this way for things to be the other way, and we must
God's
have it
plan
this
will
way.
always come true.
Right.
Like God is eternal. He's at the beginning. He's at the end. So that's like, I think that's a Christianity standpoint.
But even so, right? First of all, the thing about God's plan is that you don't understand it and you don't know it, right?
Yeah. But it's
And
already done.
Yes, and from a non-Christian perspective, I agree with that. Also, I do think that that's the case, right?
Yeah.
It is what it's gonna be,
Yeah.
right? I don't know. I mean, even if you can change history, I'm saying though, right? There's
Yeah.
not gonna be a moral balance in that way, that like in a way that we understand, at least, right?
For sure.
Like we're too dumb to get it on that
There's no
scale.
karma.
It's too big. Well, I don't know what there is out there, right?
I kind of believe in karma a little bit.
I don't even believe in karma. I mean, there's cause and effect, right? And that
You
much
put
we
good,
know.
do good stuff happens.
I don't
You
even know
put
if it's
enough
good
into
stuff.
the world.
You do stuff happens. You know, like that's
Well,
where
I
I'm
don't know.
at.
I like where if I do something good, that puts that person that I interacted with, or 10 or 15 people that I interacted with, in the potential for a good mood,
Yeah.
or to do something good, and then that 15 people interact with 30 people.
Yeah.
And if that happens in a day, and if not everybody has to decide to do the right thing, like when somebody's upset and honks at you in a parking lot, and you just like, you could send like bad energy out there where you go like, you know, get out of the car, what's up, motherfucker? And
But
then
it's-
piss somebody else off.
But that's the thing.
And then
is
that
it-
spreads.
But that's predetermined already, right?
Yeah.
Whether or not, like, if you believe that this is God's plan and it's already set, then who's going to do that is already been predetermined, right? Who's
Right.
going to be the good vibers, right? So then there is no moral balance in that way, because with one caveat, only if you believe that good stuff far outweighs bad stuff, right? Like in importance or impact or something, right? But throughout human history, it's been the case. It's a fact that there's good stuff, right? But it's the bad stuff far outweighs the good stuff. Like if you were to have to, and I think there's a scientific theory about this, right? Like if you as a person, if reincarnation was real, but only with the sense that everyone has to live everybody else's life that ever lived, right? Like you will just do that no matter what. Like you die, somebody else. You die, you're somebody else, right?
You're everything from a grasshopper to clay.
Right. And even let's just keep it at people, right? Not even a grasshopper. But your experience in this world will be way more awful than good, right? You're going to have more instances of intense human suffering and
but then you're going to have the opportunity for all of that love that everybody shared.
Sure, but it doesn't matter, right? Because the love is a very, very small amount.
Well, I don't think it's a small amount. I think it's harder to weigh.
No, I'm saying,
because look at all of those moments that everybody's had throughout their life that makes things worth it. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
Or
I'm
all
saying
of the death that those guys faced, even though they faced true, like they knew they were about to die. They have the love of their brother next to them.
I agree.
That bonds people. That's just, and you can't weigh that in death. You can only weigh it in life, and everybody dies.
Well, but
so it's like the only thing that stays.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And personally, I do agree that these intense moments of joy and universality and love, they do have this power to kind of soothe away the suffering, right? And it kind of overpowers it, right? So I do believe that it has, but not everybody even ever has that experience, right? What about, I read, this was like a news thing about New York City that I read the other day, right? There was a little boy, I think it was in Louisiana, but it was a little boy who basically got abused by his parents his entire life. He only lived to 8, right? One of the last things anybody ever heard him say was him crying in his room saying, "Nobody loves me." And then he died. He never experienced this. And there are many, many, many experiences like that. And the further back in history we get, the worse it is, right? Because there's the Greeks and the way they tortured people, right? You ever heard of the bronze bull?
Oh yeah,
Right.
Where they stick them in there and just light a fire underneath them.
So this is the default. It is more that than love. And some people, like you could say like the average, right? The love overpowers the bad, right? But some people never get that experience, right? Their lives are hard and brutal and they end horribly and that's it, right? So if you had to
we
live,
don't know. You don't know. That's
know.
the thing. Unless you live those lives, you don't know of the. And then how does that weigh against somebody's pain, right? So if it's like, a bunch of those people didn't experience this, but a few people did. Where's that weight? Negative or positive?
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
But I think that there is a weight. There's a weight distribution, which means.
But you can't trust because your cognitive bias, right, already tells you what that is for yourself, you know. But people like Eastern Europeans would disagree with you, right? Like culture as a culture, right? They're just like, no, life is hard and it's brutal and it's dark and it's cold and I wish I was in Aruba, right? And that's kind of them, right?
It's easy to have a positive perspective in Texas.
Yeah, I'm also married to a Russian, so it's like I hear this shit a lot.
Yeah.
But American
But also,
optimism.
I say all of this about love and all that. I could never find love again.
What do you mean?
Like, I could. I mean, technically, I could die tomorrow, but I could. Most likely, I'm going to have to live till I'm like 80.
Yeah.
And the road in front of me, I could never fall in love again. And
Well, some people don't. Yeah, some people live.
Like the potential's there. I could.
Yeah.
I mean, I've messed it up a lot thus far.
What's the worst one?
Oh, I mean,
Are you a cheater? What's your thing?
No, I can't cheat. I'm too
Okay.
nice of a guy. And so it's
Okay.
like my thing is like dragging girls out too long.
Dragging girls out to the lake.
Yeah.
And then drowning them.
But just like I know that I should break up with them because I'm not in it or they do, but I'm like, I'll just give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe we'll hold on to this a little longer. And
Why?
then
You trying to please them?
yeah, maybe. Yeah. And then it's like, and that was, that's probably just recently. It used to be alcohol. I just start drinking a lot. Mm-hmm. And then, cause I don't know how to bring it up. So I just get blackout drunk and eventually you pee in enough makeup drawers, they break up with you.
That's a strategy. That is a strategy.
It's not one that I intentionally did. It's just like I would be avoiding conversation and we're 22,
Yeah.
18 to 24. And I would just get blackout drunk with my friends instead of talking to her about it. Cause it started at the beginning of the night, like, fellas, I gotta do it. How do I do this? I gotta talk to her. And then you just start drinking and drinking and drinking. And I'm like, I'm gonna go. Yeah, my bro think tanks. I hadn't even thought about that. That's so funny. Because that's what we do, Clay. I mean, it's like,
for sure.
If you got a problem, you just take it to the boys, but you're all idiots.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like you just, and then
it goes nowhere.
It goes, well, no, it goes somewhere because you figure something out and you go, that's it.
Yeah.
All right, boys, I'm going to go do that. And then you step away.
Interesting.
And you're like,
whenever she gets drunk, she's bro.
That's the energy of a bro think tank for sure. Even if you're not doing it.
Exactly.
Even if you're not doing it.
Whenever she gets drunk, she's a bro think tank. Like
I am a bro think tank and
You seem like
myself.
whenever she gets drunk.
Huh?
Last time
that's why I stopped drinking.
Last time she came through drunk, I had a kind of girl thing I was going through, and she just was like, stop texting her. Like it was.
Oh, that's the worst. Don't ever text him.
He doesn't know. He's nice.
I'm horrible with that kind of shit.
I just leave him alone. I just had some girl. Anyway.
Women are watching you.
Yes.
They're watching you. So what you got to do is like, don't look at them. Don't look at them directly. You know what I mean? It's true. And
even if you're hurt,
I don't
because
care
girls will not
about
text
the
you for
secrets.
2 days.
Yeah.
And
Don't even. Just go.
She's just playing a game,
women
dude.
want you to be focused.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of like on the sides, like little fucking imps, trying to distract you, like look at my tits, right, or some shit, like trying to like pussy, right, but you got to stay on the path.
Preach,
true,
sister.
You got to stay on the path. Don't trust women.
Do not trust them. I'm in a bad place right now with this, but do not trust them.
But don't have bad feeling about it. Like women have reasons for, it's just, also like women can be pieces of shit and have their own issues, emotional issues, and
they
so
take it
that
out
they
on,
haven't been, that they
nice
haven't
guys.
worked through and stuff. We're gonna take it out on anybody, right? But you know what I mean? Like it's like anybody in the fucking path, So so for women,
you can't be worried about them. You got to keep charging ahead, and when you find a girl that'll run up next to you, and it's like, hey, keep up, sister. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Women have that kind of unique, weird social advantage over men,
Yeah.
Which is why women go like, men are so dumb, but it's because they just observe certain things where it's like, you can't, you know what I mean? And like a guy just kind of does a thing and you're just like, I can't believe that he's saying this right now, but it's, I don't know what that is. I think it's just that men are just kind of in their heads thinking about.
Well, it's also like
thinking about drywall or some shit, right? So then a woman is just out here looking at you, looking at people, right?
Yeah.
And because of the nature of paying more attention, you have an advantage.
They
right?
ask so many more questions. They think about stuff. Like I think that's why women. This is we might have cut this out, but I think this is why women
you put this in.
Aren't good in the workforce sometimes.
I think they're good in today's workforce, and that's why they're good on social media.
But in the old days, like I built power lines for 8 years. We had one woman, and she was a problem. And they were like, we're not hiring any more women because this is why it's a problem. And the reason is, and I don't think, because we were all like helping her, there's older guys that were kind of being a little more like that. But truly, she just would ask more questions. And at some point, you got to just
shut up.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Figure it out. There's like, if I got to worry about watching you all day, we're dealing with electricity, it'll shock you, wear rubber, and just cut some shit and find out what happens. Don't ask 1,000 questions.
But it's a testament to how much respect she had for you guys, because she was like, in her head, she was like, they know everything. I'll just ask, right? So ask
that's
them
the
all
thing. You should ask because you're dealing with electricity. But at the end of the day, it's like we can tell you so many times, and if you don't get it, maybe this isn't.
Yeah.
It's not for you.
There's probably a level between telling somebody 2 times and then telling somebody 1,000,000 times. It's like after 2 times, it's like, why should I have to tell you this?
Dudes are just as bad.
Oh, dudes are just as bad, but dudes will go over there and mess up. So that was my thing. I would have to, my boss was literally like, I kept asking questions, and he was like, Every time I cut a wire, because it's like there's the potential it could explode if you cut the wrong one.
Yeah.
And so it's like a bomb defusing every single time. And if you treat it like that, your nervous system fries and you can't be up there for very long. So it's just like, I'm like, is it this one? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, all right, cool. Cut it and everything's fine. And then the next one, and I'm like, okay, it's this one, right? And he goes, dog, cut it and find out.
No, though. Listen.
So were you the woman you were talking about?
Yeah. Is it you?
Yeah, at the beginning. But then eventually I go, once you get that, you go, okay, that didn't explode. Oh, I trust myself. And then you can turn it up. And then every once in a while you get cocky and you cut one and it explodes. You go, oh shit, I need to pay more attention.
Yeah. Yeah, but
it's
then
like
dumb guys working on shit though. That's kind of bad too, though. It's like guys need to learn how to ask more questions, and women need to learn how to trust themselves more. And that's kind of what we do with each other. We learn from each other.
Yeah.
Because the house I'm living in right now, we just got this house. We're trying to renovate that shit.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, whoever the fuck did the electricity in this house was a dumb asshole. Okay, the electricity. Yeah, the
electricians are meth
They just
heads.
knocked around, dude. The wiring goes like all the way under the house, right? We've had to fix nearly everything. Anytime we pull something away, it's like fuck. Like the oven is hooked up to the heater that goes, and it takes a detour, and it's like fucking big wires used to light the little light bulb above the stove, but then it goes back in. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So we have to fix
the reason they do that is because it's just an empty box house, and then the electrician comes in, and it's easy to walk across boards and through rooms when there's no drywall,
right?
And there's no nothing, so they're just like, yeah, this is easy,
totally.
And they're not getting paid to come back and fix it. So once the drywall goes up, that's going to be in 20 years. They're probably not going to be doing electric work in 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, whatever.
You want to come over? And
Well,
look at
No,
Can you help us?
Talking about
I will not.
talking about women.
I've done that too many times.
Talking about men and women trusting each other. If you, let's say you're dating Gene. If all of a
Let's
sudden,
say we are. Yeah. Say I am.
you're married to Gene, of course. Let's say you figure out he's all of a sudden hiding shit from you, like Jake did to Sadie. Like he's using phrases you've never heard before. Yeah.
I'm glad.
He's using phrases you've never heard before, and you like he doesn't have any medical record or
I don't know,
anything.
but today's day and age, that's why I don't think it matters, because it's like,
Just Google it.
he probably heard something on Google, and it's like, oh, he's in this new kid trend.
This
Back
guy's
then,
on
they didn't have
4chan.
that shit.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be different from how it was back then. So yeah, that would change it. But if he was hiding stuff from you and he's just like going, I can't tell you what it is.
I can't.
Well, you
Oh,
wouldn't
no,
be
you
able to
would
handle
never
it.
let that go.
I can't.
I know very little about Puerto Rican women, but I know you.
Sorry.
y'all like bloodhounds
This
when it comes
question
to
is
lies.
not even going anywhere because it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
I can't. That's the one thing. One thing I don't know. I'm very like I'm very big on truth. I don't like when people lie. To a degree that's almost like pathological, right? Where it's like it's more about like childhood issues than like even a stance on moral rightness of truth. You know, it's more like don't lie to me. You know,
because what are you letting slip otherwise? If this is the lie, like where does the lie stop? And then it's like if I
What
can't
if you
trust
got
once.
the inkling that he was from the future?
Oh,
I don't know. I would check myself into a fucking clinic. Like I'm schizophrenic. Great.
Yeah.
Schizophrenic.
There's that option of like, oh fuck, I'm just going crazy.
Yeah.
Or you'd have to like, would you address it with him?
Yeah, probably.
And be like, why do I think that you're from the future?
Yeah. I'd probably do that.
I've had some girls at like breakfast in the morning just ask like wild questions.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. Let's get into it. What happened in your dream?
Breakfast just seems like the right time.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's like it's fresh in their heads and they're angry. And it's like, baby, what's going on? Why are you so mad?
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And he goes, actually, you were at the beach and fucking. Yeah.
What's a crazy question? Do you remember anything? I know they're very random. It's
I had
hard
this
to
girl
remember.
ask me why I stopped at the same 7-Eleven every morning.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like,
It's there.
because it's by the house.
This
and
is
it's
what
where I
women
get
are
my
curious
coffee.
about.
Yeah. And she's like, okay. So it's got nothing to do with that little girl that works in there, huh?
Yeah. Oh, really?
And I was like, what cute little girl that works in there?
Oh, no.
And she was like, oh, okay. So you're a guy that stops every morning at a 7-Eleven. You don't know there's a hottie working behind the counter? She was like, I thought it was weird when I walked in. I go, what is that? That's a beautiful girl. Why is she working here?
Is she gay?
And I got to talk to her. No. She was like, she's going to college. And this is just a good way to wake up in the morning. And she like always works the morning shift because she has classes at night. And she's like, yeah, instead of going to, you know, being a stripper, she was like, anyway, had this whole conversation with her. You don't even know she's there. And you stop there every morning. And I'm like,
yeah, that's a little psychotic, I think.
Yeah,
that's kind of sure. That's a little much.
And I just had to tell her, I was like, no. And she was like, okay.
She's doing PI work, like interrogating a random fucking 7-Eleven
I'm like, oh,
worker.
you just set up this 7
I'll tell you what problem
you're mad about something else. I got drunk at your sister's wedding. You're
totally
still
mad
pissed off about that.
I'll give you some insight. I'll give you a little more insight into the female psychology.
I love
which
this.
is just deranged. And it's like the most honest thing that I know about, like as far as I know. And I am a woman, right? So well, yeah, so that jury's out. But Justin's like, we still don't know. But your voice is deep. I smoke cigarettes, but for a while. But here's the thing: there is a problem with what I said, that women do have a social advantage, right? Because they pay attention. Mm-hmm. But I don't know where this is coming from. Society, I don't know what the hell this is, or women just doing it to each other. But they blow so much smoke up each other's pussies about how they're good at that it makes them start to think that they have special powers. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, that they can be like, girl, if your intuition says it, if your gut says it, it's like, no, or how about you just talk to your man?
Yeah.
Women's intuition is the worst social invention to date for women. It's catastrophic because it makes them think that they're witches, you know, and this is a problem, okay? Where your head is so far up your pussy that there's like a planetarium in there, you know, and there's stars and the witch thing is, and it comes from the women's intuition thing, and it comes from
which I believe. I mean, I could imagine that women have a certain intuition.
Nah, they don't got shit. They just have that.
I bet they have some. See, now we're going too far to the other side.
No, it looks like that to you because you're a man. Okay, I'm telling you, it just because you weren't paying attention because you were thinking about drywall, and then you're like, how'd she notice that shit? What witch? A witch, you know?
Yeah.
But it's not witch. Okay, she is a dumb bitch, and she is making too many.
I'm not gonna stand for that.
I swear I'm telling you,
smart, educated,
why won't anyone believe
beautiful
me?
women out there.
I am a woman. I'm telling you the truth.
Maybe it's the ones you met.
I feel like a fucking truther. The ones I've met all of the. Your grandma, it probably sounds like a sensible person. Grandmas are different because women who have lived that long, they tend to be better because they've lived long enough to kind of be like, oh, I'm not a witch. Okay.
Yeah, she doesn't think she's a witch.
Yeah.
No, but she definitely has intuition, and she has personality.
Well, yeah, because that's wisdom and experience, right? That's using the female.
You don't think women are naturally born with this, is what you're saying?
I don't even think
Melissa's saying
absolutely
all this,
not.
And her grandma was an actual witch.
That's how I know. My grandma was a Santera.
Oh yeah,
right, like the OG.
She practiced Santeria.
Yeah, Santeria, and she would read tarot cards and she would do little jobs for people. That's what they call spells, right? Little jobs, and she had lifelong clients. These people were really jazzed about her, you know, her readings.
Yeah,
and they give her gifts and stuff. They love this lady, right? And she would walk around with a cane, like a white handkerchief. And
what happened in that side of because the Caribbean Hispanics are like, that's where all of that like voodoo stuff happens. Voodoo, it's like Louisiana, I'm saying voodoo or Santeria.
Voodoo is Louisiana, right?
Yeah.
Voodoo is actually a misnomer. It's actually Vodun. And it's Haitian.
It's Haitian.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of Haitians in New Orleans.
Yeah, there is.
A ton of Haitians.
Santeria is actually specifically for Cuba. And then the version in the Dominican Republic that my grandma practiced is called it's called like a spiritismo, like spiritualism.
Yeah.
And they all have similarities and they all overlap and take from each other, but they're distinct. But
they're very distinct.
Their impact on the culture is varied.
But it's all around salt water.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
there's any correlation here.
No, the correlation is slavery.
Oh.
The correlation is
there it was.
They all came from
Did not know, but now
similar geographical West African countries.
Yeah.
And like Cuba, for example, like Santeria. Santeria is because so many of the slaves there came from like the same fucking town, right?
Oh,
that they're actually from the same tribe. So their religion is almost like a carbon copy of the original one, which is in Nigeria.
Is that more fortunate?
It's the Yoruba religion.
Yeah.
Fortunate?
Okay, so
to get brought somewhere from another.
Yeah, if you get brought somewhere from another place,
and it's at least your whole village together.
Yeah, would you rather it be your whole village or just like half of you, or even just like a quarter of you? They get spread out over everybody.
I mean, it depends on how much you hate your town, your hometown. You know?
I know.
The black sheep of the time is like, fuck, I almost got away.
Yeah. It's like, fucking Steve's
I'm never getting out of this town. This town follows me across the country.
Exactly. Across the world.
This new town sucks. Yeah. It's even worse.
Like, my whole family's
it's
here.
The same people, but they won't let us do stuff.
So basically that.
So there's a lot of racism in this book.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
and it's weird the way he plays it off of. It's always the negative character that's doing the.
Yeah.
Usually, like in other books, it's like anytime somebody drops the N-word, which is, by the way, a lot. And Stephen King, he uses it very liberally.
Yeah, I think it's probably his time. A lot of the authors of his time, like Neil Gaiman and stuff, they would throw that in there because it was just, I think, it was really relevant culturally.
Yeah, we didn't even have them in our high school.
It had more recently happened, a little more, and it was but long enough time had passed to maybe be like, remember this?
Yeah.
And so, but now I think it's almost, I don't know what the state of the N-word is now. We need a report.
We do not. I want to stay off the topic.
Well,
the state of the N-word in literature.
Well, what do I got to say about it?
No, we're just saying like
that sounded so suspicious.
Some people,
what do I have to say?
It sounds like you have plenty to say about it.
No, I don't.
I mean, in terms of opinion, not actually say it, but yeah.
I'm saying
I don't even have an opinion.
I'm saying like it would be hilarious if like Neil Gaiman or like Stephen King came out and it was like, well, nowadays we shouldn't even be writing the N-word, even in historical context and shit. You know, that type of shit.
Yeah.
I don't
how about? Okay, I agree.
I don't agree.
I agree that I should not write it out and then just send it across the table at somebody.
Like in high school, homeroom.
So it's like
you just send it to like an Asian student. He just opens it up.
What if I did a little airplane?
You're trying to pass it across the classroom and it gets the wrong person. He's like, I'm Hispanic. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, it just says N-I and then E-R. And then when you throw it, it opens up. It closes back. It's like, dude, I didn't write that. I wrote N-I. I wrote near.
The only thing that you could say about racism, right? The only real thing is that it's so comical because it's so bad and ridiculous.
It's so idiotic.
You know what I mean? That it gets to the point where if you're not making fun of it, you're just justifying it.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah. It's a funny, stupid thing. You know what I mean?
I don't know. There's a lot of hate behind it.
There is a lot of hate, but that's why it's so funny because it's hate about something so specific, like such a specific culture came out of it. Well, I went to the Martin Luther King memorial.
God, we've talked about religion. We've talked about politics.
We talked about the
N-word.
This is this
cockfighting,
podcast,
dude. It's great.
Fighting?
Yeah. It's great. I love doing this podcast.
It is just like it's like tiptoeing through a minefield.
Yeah.
One thing.
I'm a girl. That's what I do.
One thing I love.
I'm like,
about how women and how women.
One thing
we had interesting takes on that too.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to be. I don't know. It's something. I've always wanted to be honest about it. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. So her takes on women are great. I
just try to be honest.
Always hilarious. One thing I loved in the book, I did whenever I was a kid. I was a very weird kid. I was super into the time travel shit, and so I always had the thought of, shit, time travelers might forget that they're bringing change back to the past and bring some. I used to for like 2 years straight. I would check every coin I had, the date on it, to see if it was from the future.
That is adorable. That is the cutest thing I've ever heard.
But then wouldn't that drive you crazy if you actually found one?
Right.
And then you go, but where did I get this?
Exactly.
Because then you got to start.
It would start you off on a whole. It's like when that guy finds the ear in Blue Velvet, you know? You off.
Or do you very well could, when you find that quarter that's labeled 2032, you got to look at it and go, you can just set it down.
I think realistically, most people would just kind of be like, just buy a pack of cigarettes or something.
Yeah.
No, I'd take it. No, I would take it and I'd go to somebody and I go, I want you to listen and I want you to listen close. I only have 5 minutes, okay? I got to get back. Time machine's over there. Look at this. When I leave. And then tell him something crazy. And then just fucking haul ass.
That would be hilarious.
You know what, though? You have the right look for that kind of approach.
Yeah.
You do.
Where am I from? What am I from?
You have adventure face. Like you have resting adventure face.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
So
resting adventure face.
You do.
Adventure is my favorite thing.
There you go. And it shows. And so I feel like you could pull it off with most people. I don't know, maybe you have even tried it and noticed it and leaned into it, but you're the kind of person that I feel you could go up to any person or group of people and be like, we got to do this right now. And most of the time they'll go with you.
Sister,
yep.
You are good at reading people.
Oh, yeah.
That is literally one of my favorite things to do is just go up either to a random group of people or a group of my slight friends. If I've known somebody and I consider you a friend, like I'll just go up and be like, dog, we're going catfishing.
Right.
This Sunday, we're going to go noodling.
Right.
We're going to put our hands in the water and we're going to grab catfish. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I would say nine times out of 10, people go.
Yeah.
Like whatever weird thing. I talked to a bunch of comics to getting on bulls in Salado. Yeah. We filmed it, put it on YouTube if you want to check that out.
Was it your idea to bicycle from here
No,
to
that was a Darian Irwin thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But you were involved with that.
They asked me to come on.
We're like, you look like you know how to fix things, and we don't.
Well, I told Darian, I was like, they were planning this
that.
thing, and I care a lot about Darian, and I care a lot about Mike Eaton.
I love both those guys.
And these two idiots were about to get on bikes, and Mike was going to drive in like a what? What was his plan? The Prius,
like Sprinter van,
or some kind of a
they
car.
They were in Sprinter van. Oh, okay,
it was like at least a van, I think.
Were they with the okay? So they. And then they were just going to go from here to Vegas by themselves. And I was like, dog, y'all are going to blow tires. You're going to run into so many shitty situations that you can't back in and out of. You're not going to know how to get, when you pull off onto the road and it's muddy and you get stuck. You think Mike Eaton, king of he's out there right now running a brunch show.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, I was thinking, the most that Mike Eaton will do, be like, I'll go get help, and they'll just stay at a food truck.
I literally, like, I can even, this isn't even talking shit. I love Mike Eaton so much.
He's great.
He's great.
Yeah.
And he's such a kind soul, and he's such a good character. I love him. But we were in, I can't even remember that. We were in New Mexico, and I pull up the truck in the RV, right? We had a little Suburban and an RV hauling behind it. And Mike wouldn't drive with the trailer, but we could park the trailer and then unhitch it from the Armada, from the SUV, and then go follow Darian, because Darian needed somebody to watch him because he's on the middle of the highway. Yeah. Where he eventually, took a dive.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
So,
yeah.
So the reason we were, it's dangerous what he was doing, and so we all went out to follow him, and Mike's job was just to stay there, relax, and then cook us a meal, right? Warm us up some hot dogs. That was all it was. And he forgot to remove the glass from the top of the stove and turned on the gas pilot, and it just exploded. And he calls me and he goes, Dean, the oven exploded. And I go, what? And he goes, yeah, the oven exploded.
Was he there?
He was sitting there. He was like, it was like, I was sitting right there and it exploded. And I go, Mike, how are you calling me if the oven exploded? Were you inside of it? He goes, I was watching it. It just exploded. And I go,
Jesus Christ.
All right, Mike, did you forget to remove the glass from the top? He goes, shit. And I go, we'll be back in like an hour and a half.
No.
I'll be like, we'll be there soon or whatever. And we get back and he was still just sitting there. With like the glass was broken, he didn't clean it up, he didn't cook his hot dogs or anything. I was like, Mike, this is why this wouldn't have worked. Y'all would have got stuck.
Dude, that's total ADHD right there.
It is.
He talks about that too.
He does. Yeah. And he was like, oh, that's my bad. And he like got up and cleaned it. And I was like, you just should have done this an hour ago. So then when we got back, we could have not come into an insane. He was like, I wanted you guys to see it. It's crazy. I was like, take pictures and then clean it up.
Guys, look.
But that's the problem with that whole trip was we were just on edge. Nobody got any sleep. Yeah. And we weren't taking performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah.
Because we're traveling in a trailer on the side of the highway going, 20 miles an hour.
Yeah,
looking suspicious.
Get pulled over,
yeah. And so, not that we would take them anyway, but
of course,
we were literally just running on
don't do drugs,
hot dogs and beans and Taco Bell.
That must have been a really
cigarettes. I smoked
stinky van.
So many cigarettes.
Yeah,
we could smoke in the car, so I was just like, like one after the other. Fucking, I had packs of Winston's crushed up and thrown.
Is that your stress trigger? Cigarettes?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you get stressed, you just. Yeah, me too.
I dialed back a lot, but cigarettes were gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Because every time I got stressed, I would smoke one, and I stay stressed out.
Yeah.
So it's like I wasn't dealing with the stress.
Yeah.
I was just smoking cigarettes, and it is an answer. Yeah. Unfortunately, if you're stressed, you smoke a cigarette. Yeah. Your stress kind of goes away for a little while, but then it comes back.
Yeah, I'm doing close to a pack a day, if not more, depending on how many people I bum cigarettes to.
Yeah, that's what happens.
And listen, I've bummed more cigarettes off of you than I have probably anybody else in this world. Over the last like 3 years, I try to buy you a pack every once in a while.
No, you, Jack Timmons. There's a few people who like that know. Hey, I bummed enough off of Clay. I can like stop at the gas station and get him a pack. And
or every time I actually buy a pack, I come up, ask Clay if he wants one. He always says,
"What did you smoke?
No."
What did you smoke before? American Spirits.
I've gone through a Winston era. Okay. I've gone through a Marlboro Light era. Okay. I've gone through a Camel Crush era.
Parliament.
Oh, I never did Parliaments very long, but I didn't like the way that they had that little gap in them.
Yes, I remember that.
I don't like that.
It's for cocaine.
Oh, is it?
What?
Oh yeah, it's a scoop of cocaine and snort it.
That is
Are you serious?
That's why there's funny. That's why there's a white line across the Parliament pack.
No wonder they were so popular in New York City. That makes sense.
Oh my God. And then you would smoke it and then you're inhaling. Good God,
that's diabolical.
That's diabolical.
That's really bad.
It's insane that I never got that.
It's crazy that I'm the one who knew that. I don't do coke either. I don't do
coke. Like coke lore is just so interesting that it doesn't matter if you do it or not. It's just fascinating.
Yeah.
The nail,
just that right there shows you that there is so many people that do coke.
But where are they?
Used to do coke.
Whenever I talk about coke, it's always this kind of thing. It's like I tried it once, but I'm not in that. But I've met
because
like
that's
one
who you're
cokehead.
hanging. Because cocaine people hang out with cocaine people. Yeah. Mushroom people, they just gravitate towards each other. The different drug groups, like a stoner can spot a stoner from a mile away.
Yeah.
You know?
You can smell it on
and coke people, they just kind of get the vibe, the energy, and it's like, oh yeah, this dude might probably have some coke. For sure. Oh yeah.
What do you think? Okay.
You see it in people's eyes.
Open question.
If they've done enough coke.
What do you think, if you had a time travel machine, you would do to change your life?
Man, that is such a... Oh, my life?
Let's do it. You know, we got to do these time travel questions. Let's just do it. Justin, please weigh in.
Next.
He's passed.
Yeah.
He was like, I would go back in time and forget this question or try to prevent it.
I would probably go back and tell my dad to like give a good... Oh, no. I'm glad he let me live. I'm glad he had it, but I would go and tell him.
You just have to distract him, right? So you can just stand outside the window with pots and pans. Yeah, just be like, you just skeets in the wall by mistake. There you go.
No, but then you're not born.
And then you disappear.
No. Would you do that Marty McFly shit where you grab the picture? You see him come on the wall and you go, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, then you jerk off.
And you jerk off to that picture as you go into the oblivion?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm actually on board with that. I didn't think I'd be. That sounded dark for a little bit. That actually sounds like.
It's very Gigi Allen, I think.
Oh man.
So you go back in time?
I mean, I'd tell my dad to like probably follow his dreams a little longer instead of giving up and trying to raise me because he did a bad. It ended up being. I wish he would have. Because I think about it. Like if I get somebody pregnant, the one thing I will not do is stop being. Following your dreams. Now I can say that I've gotten lucky, I hadn't got anybody pregnant.
Okay.
But that's also the lesson that I learned from him because it was like, man, if I hadn't have been born, he would have had probably a much better life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody
he messed up, and it sucks for him, and he tried his best, but it ended up not working.
Too soon.
Yeah. Whenever people kind of quit their genes, there tends to build some kind of resentment towards your child, which is always kind of fucked. Like that always ends badly. I'm lucky my dad kind of achieved his dreams, and then early on he was rodeo champion with my mom and shit. Yeah. So that was,
and then he waited, and then you go off to have a
But if I went back in time, I would probably figure out a way to move away from home earlier. Ooh. Like get more life experience in different areas earlier, because I just was too long in the country where I was starting to get content. I was about to just become a fucking Sonic manager at one point. Yeah. So just maybe in high school or early college, just figure out a way to get myself out and like move somewhere and do
just tell you
other shit.
It's the best advice I can give like an 18-year-old kid is just leave.
Yeah.
And go somewhere.
Yeah.
You'll find people, you'll find a place to be, and if you don't want to be in that place, you can just leave again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
The younger you start,
something,
the better.
and
The younger you start doing that, and the thing is, you don't want to continue that kind of lifestyle, which you can, but just leave and realize the world is bigger than fucking
Than you.
Than just South Louisiana or fucking
Florence, Texas, or
some
Is that where you're from?
tiny little area.
Florence,
I've been
Texas.
from I moved around a lot.
I love how places in Texas are named after much more famous, better places. Then
How do you
go
know
to
that?
like the Florence.
Have you ever been to Florence, Texas?
I've been to Florence, Italy.
Well, it's not Florence, Texas. I'll tell you that much.
It's a little
We
bit
love
different.
saying that. I think that's our favorite thing, or it's just it's developed. But like Paris, Texas, is it?
Yeah, there's
how
Paris,
is it compared
Texas. There's Mecca.
Well, it ain't Paris, France. I'll tell you that.
I like it.
Are there cows running through the middle of Paris, France?
Yeah.
It ain't nothing like Paris, France.
I like that they do that though. I think it's very funny.
Yeah, it's like a little joke.
I love that Louisiana towns it's all French names, so it sounds really high class, but it's literally just a bunch of
Sounds.
Cajun people getting drunk and fucking like having a wild time. It's great.
Yeah.
It's like Lafayette sounds prestigious and shit, but downtown Lafayette is chaos. It's great.
Chaos. we just went to Louisiana for 4th of July.
Oh yeah, yeah.
how was that?
I mean, it's like the 70s met the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, where in Louisiana? What part?
Manny.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, dude, it's still backwoods. There's dirt roads almost everywhere. It's still, which is the best.
I think that's awesome. I
It's
think
great. It's
New Orleans gets
quiet.
a little too. It's like a little overrated.
Oh, yeah, no.
If anything, there's
Okay.
so many other places you can
I
go
would,
there.
no, I would
Take it
I
easy.
agree. I agree.
What the?
No, I mean,
I'll fight both
no,
of you.
I think it's
I'll go-
amazing.
I'll go-
No, I don't. I think it's overrated. I think it's amazing, but I think it's the only place people want to go there.
Yeah.
Ever.
I would rather go
know
to
what?
downtown Lafayette than New Orleans any day.
Are we doing that thing where we really don't like the thing, but we say, don't nobody else go?
No, I say
No.
go. I'm saying go, but I'm
Yeah.
saying also like if a guy, with a mullet and a can of Bud Light is like, hey, you want to go on my boat? We're gonna go out of town or the city. You should go with that guy too. Like you should do all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
No, you lost
Like
me.
we're gonna go gator hunting or something.
Yeah,
Right? Just go with that
okay,
guy.
you got me back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
My
Yeah.
thing, I'll explain it like for Mardi Gras. If somebody's going down to Louisiana for Mardi Gras,
Go during Mardi Gras. Or do.
well, no, like go early, go the week before, and go around the Acadiana area, around Lafayette, fucking New Iberia. Go travel that for the week before, and then end Mardi Gras in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Because
Well, also, I
the
don't know. Dude, New
Acadiana
Orleans
area-
has fucking. You can stop at a gas station and get a fucking amazing po' boy still.
True.
you can do
Yeah.
that literally
The
in
Muffalettas
anywhere,
downtown. Fuck, that's good.
though. You can do that.
Jazz music is just playing. You can get hammered.
Yeah, but that Bourbon Street place, that's like I got there
The
on
French Quarter?
on a Sunday
Or Bourbon
when
Street?
Bourbon Street.
Okay.
Yeah, at the front. I got there on a Sunday when it was like the end of the weekend, and it was like the smells, like the real smells of that street, and that place smells like fucking like stinky fish, and I don't think it was seafood.
It's a bowl.
know what I mean?
New Orleans is literally a bowl, so
Yeah.
everything just fucking seeps
The
down
smell
to
of ass and despair just concentrates there.
See, but I think I
And then
have
they
good
just spray
memories
it with
tied to that. So I
chemicals.
think when I smell that, I smell like. Honestly, I step
I
onto the
actually get
quarter and I
that.
go.
I get that.
I don't know if that's seagull shit or what it is, but I love it.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. Whenever I smell bum piss on the subway, it reminds me of when I used to go see my grandma.
See, there's
So, yeah.
there's good memories attached to them. Sometimes those smells, other people smell it because I've definitely, if I'm like in love with a girl, I take her to New Orleans. And we're like, let's do a Monday through Thursday, get out of the craziness. You know, there's still stuff to do.
Yeah.
But you just go walking around looking at the houses every morning, the moss coming off the trees. It's
Yeah, it's very
gorgeous.
romantic.
It's
Yeah.
very romantic.
Cypress-
Eating,
Cypress
listening
Street's
to
great, but
jazz.
yeah.
Cypress Street's amazing.
All right, so we're gonna have to end in a little bit. There is one. We'll end on one question.
What time is it?
It's 3:10.
Yeah.
Nice.
Getting there.
So if you could go back in time and set up your life from a time and then continue on, where would you set it up?
Oh, if I could drop in line. And can I be myself? Do I have to kill myself? Or do I just transport
No,
myself?
transport
as
yourself.
Well, because that's the thing. You go back in time. Is yourself there?
You
Yeah.
just transport yourself.
Good point.
You're not. You don't meet yourself.
I wake up and I'm 12 years old.
You
if
are.
that's
No,
If
you're
that's the
your
age,
age. You just go back in time and you're setting up a life for yourself from then.
Oh, so I'm not. I don't live that life. I get him set up, do certain things. Man, God, I'll drop in early. I want to know what untraumatic Dean could accomplish. But do I want to? That's the thing. That's the risk, right? Well, how much trauma do you want? Because that's what made me who I am.
Yeah.
Who would I be if I didn't have all that extra shit?
And also, why would you change?
There's some stuff I would.
Because what you said earlier about how horrific experiences shape you in really profound ways that kind of transcend pain and suffering, right? I'm putting words in your mouth, but I feel like that's kind of what you were saying.
Yeah, somewhat.
And that you can overcome them and then experience joy and all that. Then you would take that away from yourself.
I know I don't get the threshold of pain to joy.
Yeah, you wouldn't reach
because I don't understand joy.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that level of this really sucks.
Yeah.
Then when things are good, it's that meter gets pushed back. Yeah. Like the threshold for your.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, man, this is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess I wouldn't try to get my dad to not take that plane.
Oh shit.
But now you're what if he had died? Yeah, what if he had died later? And how did he die? How did he die?
The plane crash.
Plane crash.
Oh, what kind of? This is very. Can I ask any questions?
Of course, ask all the questions.
She does a whole bit about it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I need to hear this. I think I've heard bits and pieces of this, but you hear stuff on stage. I don't know if that's true.
Oh yeah.
So what plane? When did it go down?
It was Flight 587, and it went down 2 months after 9/11 in Queens Harbor.
God.
Yeah.
How many
and it was
survivors?
a weird time.
Yeah.
No survivors. It was like the pilot did an evasive action that he shouldn't have. The rudder was jerked in the wrong direction. It went against the air current and it just exploded.
Oh.
Yeah.
So people
that wasn't the sound of the plane, by the way. It was more like explodey, but
very explodey.
Yeah. Not a fart.
People don't talk about how often you hear about tornadoes and people dying. You hear about hurricanes and people dying.
Right.
But plane flights, people think it's because they don't happen that often.
They happen a fair amount.
They happen a fair amount.
And they're about to happen more, I think.
Yeah. I've been going to airports.
Boeing's been fucking up.
Well, Boeing's been trading like fake titanium and putting it into plane frames for years now.
I don't want to leave people on this. Don't be scared to fly.
Nah, be scared to fly. Be very scared, especially because planes now are getting to the point where it's like a Carnival cruise. It's just the worst.
No, it's
worst
not.
travel experience. It's going to get there
in planes anymore.
Look, Spirit Airlines is soon.
I bet they went down
not going to be an
hard
exception.
and fast when they were smoking of those things.
Yeah.
I bet they went down a lot. It's what killed Skinner.
Yeah, but
they think that cigarette and just not it's not the cigarette. It's the
secondhand smoke.
It's the level of professionalism that drops when you start smoking cigarettes in a place.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't smoke cigarettes, it's like, hey, we can't smoke cigarettes. We also can't do this. We also can't do this. But if you're smoking a cigarette, you go, why not have a fucking one shot?
Yeah, but at
why
the
not
same
have a
time,
shot? We're already smoking cigarettes. Why don't we take a shot?
But they didn't know. For them to be able to smoke on a
plane,
they were
flying.
It was like a luxury experience, right? You had ashtrays.
The
having an
pilots
ashtray
need to stay sober.
Yeah, do they?
Yeah.
They need to be well rested. They need to be not stressed out. I think it's crazy when I see pilots in the airport. I go, get those people away from us. Give them a private little air-conditioned buggy that goes from plane to plane and straight to the airport lounge.
Yeah.
I don't want them drinking in there, but I damn sure don't want to see them drinking.
They do kind of treat them like crap, especially when you consider that a lot of the pilots are veterans.
Yeah.
They're like military veterans.
What is up with America just shitting on veterans?
Yeah.
I'm getting real pissed off about this.
I was security.
I'm getting real pissed off.
agree.
And I don't know how to fix it.
Nobody
I know
does.
people are fucking working on it, and you're doing the Lord's work, but we need to stop disrespecting our veterans.
I was security at a 60-year-old hotel recently, and we would get pilots all the time, and I'm like, our AC doesn't work. These people are going to have to fly in the morning. I don't think this is good for them.
That's where they put them up.
It's not good.
They get the same treatment as a traveling comedian with some fucking,
Yep.
comedy production company. They just put you up
Irreverent Warriors is how you can help veterans. If you
What is
find
that?
They do
plug
walks. They go on to prevent suicide or to raise awareness for suicide in the veteran community. And
That's good.
They're on Instagram. I know they do a lot of walks in the Central Texas area.
They
If you're a veteran struggling, it's a good community.
Support your Wild West Wednesday show here at Creek. That
used
was
to.
always fun. No, they were generally
homies.
a good audience.
They're such
they're
good people.
people.
They're down to laugh.
Anything else? We're gonna have to.
Oh yeah, we got to get out of here.
But anything you want to plug?
Man, read this fucking book.
All right.
Where's the camera?
11/22/63.
11/22/63. It's such a good book. Thank you.
Yeah, it is really good. It was great. Very well written.
Very well written.
Yeah.
Great book. Go watch JFK's 18-minute Rice University speech. You can just play it anywhere, listen to it anywhere. It's an amazing speech. I think it really hones in on the beauty of America in that time.
Okay.
One of my favorite times.
Okay.
And then Dean A. Stanfield on Instagram. And if you want to learn how to drive race cars, go to Rally Ready Driving School website, Instagram. They're on all the things, and I'm instructing there now. Monday through Thursday. Okay. So if you book a trip Monday through Thursday, you can come drive race cars with me. It's expensive, but it's really fun, and we get to drive. You drive pretty fast, and you go sideways on dirt, and that's a fun time.
Fuck yeah!
Awesome.
And then you talked about it earlier that your whenever you got the comics to go noodling and bull riding, it's on YouTube. What's it called?
It's very embarrassing for me because that was 3.5 years ago, and I am. It's if you want to watch something
better now.
It's funny. It's funny, but give it some context. Look at the dates, and you know,
it was pretty funny. You did the live showing here. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it. But it's like, you know, but I'm not doing them anymore. But if you do want to watch that, it's on YouTube. Dean Stanfield Comedy.
Amazing.
Love you guys. You
guys
are
you
awesome.
too. Melissa.
Melissa Diaz, #4 letter U on Instagram.
Awesome. My name is Mud9210 on Instagram.
Mud9210.
His name is Mud.
My name is Mud. And it's been fun. Thank you, Dean, for coming. Great book. And we'll see y'all next time. Later.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Love you. Bye.